Yeah. So yesterday we were discussing about lists, right? So hope there are no doubts in those. If you have any doubts, please ask me now. Okay. I have given the exercise. Have you guys tried this?
Due to my voice issue, I'm not able to. And also, I'm working in lectures. That's why this weekend I will complete everything.
Okay, sure. So yeah, try to practice all the things, because these all things will feel a bit easy while listening, but if you don't practice you might forget all the methods names, right? All the syntaxes you might forget. So yeah, please do practice all the things, okay, once you get time, right? Yeah. So let's just jump ahead. We have discussed about lists, okay. We have some more functions in lists. We'll just discuss those and then we'll jump into other data structures, okay. So we discussed how lists can be formed, how to slice them, right? All the list methods, okay. So I am calling these things are methods, and whatever we are going to discuss now, those are functions, okay. I'll tell you the difference, little bit difference will be there, okay. I'll tell you the difference as well. So all these are the list methods, okay. We have saw how each method can be used, okay, what is the purpose of each method and how we can manipulate the lists, right? Okay. Now let's just jump ahead, okay. These are all the slicing methods we already discussed, and we also discussed how to reverse the list, okay. Now we have some predefined set of methods, okay. So this not just for the list, these functions will work for other data structures as well, okay. So see, let's say you have a list, okay. You have a list like this. If you want to find the sum, okay, what we will do, we will just take all the elements, right? So this would be our ideal solution. I mean, if we don't have any methods and all, we will do like this, okay. So if you have 4 elements, you will just add all the 4 elements, okay. If you have 10 elements, you will have to do this 10 times, right? It will be difficult. So for those kind of scenarios where you will have to fetch all the elements and you will have to sum them, we can use other methods we have for loops, okay. We can use loops, but before, if you don't know any for loops, right, if you just want to sum all these things, it would be very much difficult to take up each element and sum them, right? So for these kind of scenarios we have some predefined functions, okay. So the difference between function and a method is, method will always be called on an object, okay. So A is our object, which is of list, right? So you can check type of A, it is of list, okay. So A is an object. So all the methods will only be called for A, like A dot, okay, using dot operator we call them, okay. A dot append, A dot extend, A dot clear, A dot copy, all these methods. So whatever the methods that we discussed yesterday can only be called, all these particular methods, right, can only be called using this syntax, okay, A dot after that, okay. But there are some certain functions, okay. List is a function, okay, and we have some minimum maximum length, okay. So these are functions which will not be called on any particular object, it can directly be called like this, list, okay. So inside this we will pass some values, okay. So we are not, see, function was also like this, A dot append, we will be passing some value like this, okay. But functions will not be called like this, we will just call functions directly like this, okay. So let's discuss simple functions, okay. First will be our sum, okay. Whenever I pass any iterable item, okay. So iterable item comes lists, sets and tuples, okay. All these things are iterable items, okay. So whenever you pass some iterable items, then this sum will work, okay. So if I do this, you will get the sum. You cannot directly pass any integer, okay. So you can see the error is integer object is not iterable, okay. So only you have to pass iterable items. Iteration means like loop through multiple items, collection of multiple items, right. So you can only pass iterable items. Okay. So iterable items involves lists, sets and tuples. Okay. We can still do with dictionaries, but there is some difference how we can do with dictionaries and we can do with other these data structures, right? So you can pass any iterable item into these functions. Okay. So the first one is sum. You can get the sum of all the elements, and this will only work for the integers and floats. Okay. If I take any strings, okay, this will not work, right? It will show you unsupported abundance. Okay. And even if it is a float, it will work. Okay, 1.1, 1.2. Okay. So you can work with this as well, right? Floats and integers will work, strings and booleans will not work because you cannot sum them, right? Now we have the similar kind of functions. We have minimum, we have maximum. Okay. So it will just give you the maximum value in that particular list, minimum value in that particular list, right? So this also will work same for the lists and for integers and tuple, floats, right? So we have integers and floats. It works with both of them. Okay. Now these are basic functions, sum, minimum and maximum, which can be used. Okay. We have several other functions which we will be discussing while we are discussing other things. Okay. But the majorly important thing is to find the length of any list. Okay. So to find the length of any list, so here even if you don't know all these functions, you can do this if you know the length. But if you don't even know the length, we cannot even perform these particular things, right? So that's why to find out any length of any list or sets or tuples, we have len function. Okay. So inside that we pass our iterable item. Okay. It will give you the length of that particular list. Okay. So this length function will work for all kinds of data types. Okay. It doesn't matter if it is an integer or string or float, it will just give you the length of all the elements, right? So yeah, basically these are the 4 functions which will be very helpful while working with lists and tuples and sets, right? Now let's move to sets or tuples. Okay. So this is all about lists, how you can slice them, how you can use all these methods. Okay. But for other things we don't have any of these methods. We just have some advantages of over lists. Okay. Why we use sets, why we use tuples, and how we can convert them into lists, so that we can use all these methods. Okay. We'll learn all these things now. Okay. So first we will discuss with sets. Okay. The major difference between sets and lists, both are same. Okay. Both are collection of items, but sets can only hold up unique items. Okay. So let's say I have a list, okay, with duplicate items, right? Okay. So if when I am accessing my list, I have all the duplicate items present in this. Okay. But sets cannot hold all the duplicate items. Okay. If I convert this into set, it will only give me the unique values. Okay. So there is a method to convert it into set, okay, which is set and function. Okay. It's a function. You can pass the iterable item, which is your list. Okay. Now we can see it automatically converts into 1, 2. So that so whenever you are converting it into a set will automatically deletes all the duplicate items. Okay. Because it can only hold your unique values, right? And there are some major differences. Okay. So sets are used to store multiple values in a single variable, similar to lists, right? But it can only be stored non-duplicate values, which are unique values. Okay. But the another difference here is it is not ordered. Okay. So list was ordered, right? So if you can see, list is ordered, it can be changeable, and it will also allow duplicate values. Okay. And it is also indexed. Okay. Basically indexed and ordered are same things. Okay. Because of indexing only, this is ordered. Okay. Now if we take about sets, right, these are unordered because they are unindexed. Okay. So we have a set, let's say now I am storing this in B. Okay. Now B is my set, I cannot access the elements like this, okay, because set does not support indexing. Okay, so whenever you create sets, it will not create any indexing. Okay, so whatever the values you are just having, it will just show you those values. Okay, we cannot access those values like that, you cannot modify those values like that. Okay, you cannot, you can just add the values, you can use add method to add values. If it is not duplicate, then only it will add. Okay, so you can check B, you will have 1 2 3. Okay, if I try to add that again, it will not add. Okay, because 3 is already there. So you can add the values, but you cannot access those values, or you cannot change that particular value. Okay, so in my first place I have 1. Okay, I cannot change that, it will always be 1. Okay, either you can just delete that like that. Okay, but you don't have access to change that particular value because we don't have indexing, right? So this is the major difference between lists and sets. Okay, even though sets are highly useful, because whenever you want to get unique values, you will just convert it into sets. Okay, so I have a list, I want you get the unique values, we will just use set method. Okay, use this particular function, it will directly convert you into the set. Okay, you will get all the unique values. This will be very useful, but we don't have lot of methods in this. Okay, you can just add the elements, or you can just delete the elements. Okay, v dot remove 3. You can just see, we only have these two methods. Okay, you can either add them or you can either remove them. Okay, but you don't have multiple methods to do these things, right? So that's why sets are not being used directly. Okay, we don't use sets directly. Okay, whenever you want to have like unique values, what we will do, we will convert it into set, then again we will convert it back into list. Okay, so that's where list function comes in. Okay, so I told you that we had to discuss about this list method, right? So this function basically converts other data structures into list. Okay, like sets or tuples into back into lists. Okay, so if I do B again, you will get it into a list. Okay, so now you can perform all the methods in lists, right? So basically, when sets are used is, whenever you have a list and you want to remove the duplicate values, you will just convert that into set and then again back to list, so that you can perform all the methods also, right? So this is the only usage of sets. Okay, but sometimes people also use sets for other purpose, like memory optimization. Okay, so since lists are indexed, they'll have to maintain two different references, right? So they'll have to reference the variable also, and they will also have to reference the address also. Like yesterday we discussed how the indexing works, right? So this particular thing A has an address mapping, also it has to map with the index values. Okay, since in sets we don't have any indexing, we are just mapping this particular values to the address, right? So that's we are just cutting off half of the memory space, right? So these will be useful when we have some memory issues, like we want to when we have memory constraints, right? We can only use up to this much of memory, then you can use sets for memory optimization as well. Okay, so yeah, let's just discuss these things. Sets are unordered because of not indexing, right? We don't have indexing, so obviously it is not ordered. Okay, it cannot keep the particular order inside that. Okay, which will not also allow duplicate values. Okay, we will only have unique values, and sets are always written in curly braces. Okay, so you can use these curly braces. You cannot do indexing, slicing, because we don't have indexes, but you can convert it into list and back to list, so that you can perform all the items, all the methods, right? All the operations. Okay, so now we have set class. Okay, similar to set method. So just one sec. Yeah, am I audible, Sandhya? Okay. Okay, yeah, as I was saying, we have set class, right? So you can check that in the types. So now my B is a set, so you can check the type of B to get the set value, right? That is a set class. Okay. Yeah, these are the major differences in sets. Okay, you don't have lot of methods to discuss. Okay, we only have two major methods. Okay, add to add elements. Okay, remove to remove elements. Okay, so yeah, nothing major. And set method, set function is used to convert any list into the set. Okay, so basically we only have these three major methods in the sets. Okay, now let's move to tuples. Okay, so as we saw, the difference between sets and lists are sets only create the unique items, right? Similarly, there is only one particular difference between tuples and lists. Lists are mutable things and tuples are immutable things. Okay, so immutability means we cannot change any element inside that. So how we cannot change the elements inside the sets, we cannot change the elements inside the tuples also. Okay, so same similar to lists, these are ordered, these are indexed, but these are not changeable. Okay, so now let's say I have a list. Okay, if I want to convert this into tuple, I will create tuple function. Okay, similar to how we use set method to convert into set, we use tuple method to convert it into tuples. Okay, now we can see tuples are always written in simple parenthesis. Okay, simple round brackets. Okay, and this is a tuple. Okay, now let's store this in some other value. Okay, now our B is a tuple. You can access any values using indexing, right? So all the list indexings will work here. Okay, but we don't have all the methods. Okay, so we had a lot of methods in the tuples, right? Like append, extend, insert, remove, pop, all these things. We don't have all these things. Okay, you can try. Okay, tuple has no attribute append. Okay, so as I told you, to see the methods that are present in your particular class, you can go into that particular class, right? So you can see all these methods are available in the lists. Okay, so you can check the same thing for sets. Okay, you can check the same thing for tuples. Okay, now if you want to go into sets, you can go there. You can see these are the differences, these are the methods that are present in the sets. Okay, so we basically use add, copy is also there, just to copy those things which is not used mostly, and remove is also there, we discussed. Okay, and all other things, if you can see, there are some other things, right? Difference update, intersection update, disjoint, subset, superset, right? So all these things are used in data science. Okay, so when you have different sets, if you have remember, in mathematics we also have sets, right? We do have sets in mathematics. These sets will act similar to those sets. Okay, but in programming we don't do any of these operations. Okay, so these are, all these things are useful only in data science when you are doing data manipulations, right? Mathematical operations. But in programming we don't use all these methods. But if you want to know more about these things, you can just go to that methods and see. Okay, but majorly we use add, copy, remove. Okay, and we can also use clear. Clear is nothing but to clear all the elements. It will just create a empty set. How we used to discuss that in the lists. Okay, similarly we have tuples. Okay, you can go into tuples. Okay, you can check the same methods in the tuples. Okay, so tuples does not have any major methods. Okay, you can see it does not have any method at all. Okay, except for count. Okay, we have count, and we don't have any methods, right? So you can only use B, right? We have a B which is a tuple. You can retrieve elements using slicing methods. Okay, slicing method works because it is indexed, right? And we only have count of number of times it got. Okay, so this method was also there in list. We already discussed this method, how it works. The same method is there for tuples as well, but other than this, tuples does not have any extra methods. Okay, so all these are private methods which you can which we can use. Let me try add. Okay, add is also not there. Let me override this. Can only concatenate tuple to tuple. Okay, so yeah, we can use, but B will never change. Okay, so B is still like that, it will not change, but you can add those elements and create another tuple. Okay, but don't worry about this, these are private methods, so it will be complicated for you guys to learn all these things. Okay, just remember that when you define a tuple, you cannot change anything inside that. Okay, it's just that it's more like a constant value. Okay, you cannot change any elements, or you cannot add, you cannot remove any elements. Okay, once you define a tuple, it is constant value. Okay, so why we use tuples? We already have lists, right? Why do we need to use tuples? See, there is an advantage of sets over lists, because sets were giving us unique values. Then that's why, so we created sets. So sets are little bit useful, but for the tuples we don't have any methods. We cannot add elements, we cannot remove elements. Okay, it's just a constant value, right? But why do we need to use these kind of scenarios where we cannot do anything, right? So that is the only thing, that its advantage is itself, it cannot change anything, we cannot change anything, right? So I will show you the example why we need tuples. Okay, so in programming you define some constant values. Okay, always we define some constant values. Okay, let me show you that. Okay, we define some constant values. Okay, I have defined them in dictionaries. Okay, but whenever we want to define constant values, we do define some constant values and we use them. Okay, to avoid accidental changes in these things. Okay, if I don't want to change in these things in my code, right, when I am using these particular data structures, to avoid those accidental changes, what we can do, we can make them into tuples. Okay, I don't think I have used lists or tuples here. Let me show you another thing. Okay, so here we can see we have some fields. Okay, I have defined them in a first I have defined them in a set. Okay, so first I am converting it into a set, so which means even though if I write them duplicates, it will automatically remove, right? So I am only taking unique values, unique string values. Okay, then I am again converting it into a list, so that it will become ordered and indexed. Okay, and then I am converting it to tuple, so that we don't change them accidentally, right? We don't access this particular field's value and we don't accidentally change those. So that's why we are again converting it to tuple, right? So the major advantages of using tuple is that it cannot be changed. Okay, so whenever in your programming, whenever you have that particular requirement where you don't want to accidentally change things, there we use tuples. Okay, got it. So you can check the type of that as well, you will get tuple class. Okay, so yeah, basic difference between lists, sets and tuples are these. Okay, so lists have everything, indexing, sorting, right? They are ordered, they can be changed, they have a lot of methods to work on. Okay, sets are basically unique elements which will give you unique elements, and tuples are basically immutable lists. Okay, these are also lists but immutable things, we cannot change or add or remove anything, right? So yeah, these are the differences between these three data structures. Okay, according to our requirements we use different things. Okay, now let's say we have another data structure which are dictionaries. Okay. Now why we created dictionaries is very simple. Okay, let's say I have a list. Okay, to get the last element, what I'll have to do, I'll have to count the index. Okay, even in the in between elements I'll have to count the index 0 1 2. Okay, now if I only know the index, then only I'll get my proper element, right? If I don't know the index, I cannot retrieve any element, right? So that is the major problem. Okay, let's say you have a list of 100 elements. Okay, you can't remember each element's index, right? So if you don't know the index, you cannot retrieve the element value, right? So that is the major problem which has been there from the starting itself. Okay, so what the developers did, rather than solving this problem, they just created a new data structure where we can avoid these problems. Okay, those are called as dictionaries. Okay, so dictionaries are also defined in curly braces. Okay, so if you just do this, you can check type, it will give you dictionary rather than giving set. Okay, set, it will give set only when you convert a list into dictionary, into sets, right? See, let's say I have a list. Okay, let me just take b equal to 1 comma 2. Okay, now if I check the type of set of b, this will be set. Okay, whenever you use this particular set method to define some values, then it will be set, or you can also do this. Okay, so whenever you have some curly braces with some values, simple values, then this will be a set. Okay, but if I am defining an empty curly braces, when I am doing a equal to simple curly braces, then the type of this will always be a dictionary. Okay, so if you add simple elements, so a is my dictionary. Now if I try to add 1, okay, you can see dict object has no attribute add. Okay, but this was a set, right? If we just see that as a set, if we just see those curly braces, we assume that it will be a set. Okay, and if we try to add, we will get the errors. Okay, so you have to be careful, you cannot never define a empty set. Okay, you can always define empty dictionary. Okay, if you want to create an empty set, what you can do, you can use this particular method to create an empty set. Okay, now it will create like this. Okay, rather than simple curly braces, it will create like this, and you can add the elements also. Okay, fine. So just be careful while using sets and dictionaries, because since both of them are using same curly braces, there is some misunderstanding between those two. Okay, you have to be careful when you are defining sets. You can only define using like this, but if you directly define simple curly braces, it will automatically takes it as a dictionary. Okay, a is a dictionary. Now dictionary has key value pairs. Okay, so until now what we are doing, we are just adding elements. Okay, even in a list or sets or tuples, we are just having elements. Okay, in dictionary we have key value pairs. Okay, so key value pairs will be like this. So right, so this will be my key, and I am just giving the value here. Okay, and these keys should not be duplicates. Okay, these keys should always has to be unique values. Okay, and one more thing, you cannot use all the data structures in this particular point. Okay, you can only use immutable things. Okay, like numbers, strings, or tuples. You cannot use list in here. Okay, you cannot use sets in here. Okay, you can only use strings or integers, some integer values, or some tuples, because tuples are also immutable things, right? So let me show you an example. You can use this, you can not use list, you can use numbers. Okay, you can use tuples also, like 1 comma 2 is, let's say, values can be anything. Okay, so this is my key, this is my value, right? This is my key, value, this is my key, this is my value. Okay, So values can be anything, values can be a list, values can be another dictionary also, values can be anything, okay, but keys has to be immutable things, okay. So you can see this is the dictionary, okay, but the same thing I cannot give as a list, okay. I cannot give my key as a list, okay. You can see unhashable type list, okay, this cannot be hashed, right. So just remember that you can only give keys as immutable things, okay, either strings or integers or tuples, right. So now this is the basic dictionary format, okay. Let's say you have hundreds of elements that are defined, right. Let me just define some couple of elements. Okay, now let's say I have a list, okay, this is my list, okay, let me store that in B. See, the same values whatever I have in A, I have defined them in B, okay. Let me show you the differences of fetching the elements, okay. So in lists what we should be doing, we should be using indexing, index values to get the elements, right. So if I do B of 3, I will get the last element, okay. So whenever you want to retrieve the elements, you will have to remember the index of that particular element, right. But that particular problem has been overcome using dictionaries, okay. So whenever you want to have this particular 4, you know this particular key value, right. So this is my key, okay. What I will do, I will just do A of D, okay, I will get the value. Rather than using indexing, what we are doing, we are just creating our own indexing, okay. So this means, this basically means this is also a kind of index, okay, but we are giving our custom indexing, okay. So these are our values, we manually give them, okay. So using those index values, we can directly fetch the whatever the values that we have, right. So basically this is the only difference between lists and dictionaries, okay. So to avoid this kind of problems, let's say if you have thousands of elements, you cannot remember all the indexing values, right. But in dictionaries we can directly see what the key value is, okay. See, if you have 10 elements, you have to count the index of any value, but here you don't have to count it, you can just see the key, right, and you can just use that particular key to get the value, right. So this is the major difference between lists and dictionaries, okay. So just remember, dictionaries are always stored in key value pairs, okay. So dictionary is collection where it is unordered, okay, because the default indexing was not there, we are giving our own indexing, so it is also unordered, okay. The system does not know how to order these things, right, and they are changeable, we can change the values as well, and which will not allow duplicates in keys, okay. It will allow duplicates in values, but it will not allow duplicates in keys, okay. So now let's say I have A of D, which is 4, I can change it to whatever the value I want, okay. Now you can see value has been changed, okay. Simple, how we used to do in the lists also, right. We also used to do the same thing in the list, right. So let's say A of 0 I have, sorry, B of 0 I have 1, I can change it to another values, right? Similarly you can work with the dictionaries as well, okay. Now dictionaries are written in curly braces with keys and values, okay. The class will always be dictionary, okay. So similar to lists, we have couple of methods, okay. In dictionaries we will just go through all these methods, nothing major difference between lists and dictionaries, okay. The only difference we have is we are giving our own indexing so that we can make a key value pair, okay. In list we are just giving the values, which the indexing will be by default created by Python, right. So we have these methods, we will just discuss these methods, okay. We have pop, simple things, similarly how we had pop, right. So how we used to have pop, b dot pop, and whatever the value, sorry, pop you have to give the value name, right. So if I give 3, it will just pop that particular index value, okay. So whenever I am giving any index, it will just remove that value. If you can see B, that particular index value is gone, okay. Similarly for index, for this we are giving index, so similarly you will also give this particular index, okay. A dot pop, you can give any index. Let's say I am giving B. Okay, B value got out, and if you can check A, B has been removed. Okay, so you can use pop similar to list. Okay, we have items. Let's get back to that. We have get, we have update. Okay, we have copy similar to list. Okay, let's say C equal to A. Now if I add extra element in A, let's say I am giving another elements A of E equal to, let's say, some 34. Okay, you can see E has been added in A. Now we can check C is also getting added, right? If I do simple C equal to 0. So to avoid this, what I'll do A dot copy. Okay, simple function that we used there. Now A and C are same. If I add any elements in A, right, it should only add in A, it should not add in C. Okay, that's why we use copy method. Got it? Okay, now we have clear, which clears all the things. Okay, C dot clear, C is empty. Okay, now we have other methods. Let's discuss those new methods. Okay, these are the methods which are similar to lists. Okay, now we'll discuss new methods. Okay, we have A. Let's suppose we only want all the keys to get listed. Okay, I want a list of all the keys inside my dictionary. Okay, what we do A dot keys. Okay, you will get, yeah, this is a list of all the keys, but this is a different object. Okay, dict keys. Okay, you can check the type of A dot keys. Okay, this is dict keys class, but this is also a list. Okay, no need to worry about the differences, everything is same. You can, if you want to convert it into a list class, you can simply use list method. Okay, we just discussed how to use list method, right? So if I use list of A dot keys, then it will give me in the list format. Okay, so this and this doesn't have any differences. If you still want to use this particular list class only, then you can use this method. Okay, list function to get the list. Okay, if you don't want, if you just want a list of these values, you can use A dot set keys simply. Okay, so this will give you the dict keys object. Okay, similarly you can have values. Okay, so keys are giving me the list of all the keys. If I do values, it will give me the list of all the values. Okay, this is dict values class, will give you the all the values present in your dictionary. Okay, so as I was saying, this was unordered, right? So you can see the values are changed. Okay, so my first value is 1. Okay, then 3, then 54, but you can see the ordering has been changed. Okay, it will not follow the proper format. Okay, even for the keys you can see my values are like A, C, D. Here you can see it is A, E, F, D, C, right? So it will randomly converts things, right? So that's why we say that this particular dictionary is always unordered. Okay, now we can have keys using A dot keys, we can have values using A dot values. You can convert this also into a list. Okay, you can convert this into list or sets or tuples. You can use set method to convert it into a set. Okay, you can also use tuple method to convert this into a tuple. Okay, you can use any of these functions to convert into their data, proper data structures. Okay, but all these are iterable items. Okay, iterable items means just you can loop through all the items. It's more like a collection of items. Okay, you have keys, you have values. Okay, but sometimes we might need both key and value, right? We might need both key and value to come in single time. Okay, here either we are getting keys or either we are getting values. Okay, sometimes we need both of them to come in single point. So there we use A dot items. Okay, so A dot items is dict items, which will give me both the values in a tuple format. Okay, so you can see we are having tuples, right? This is a tuple, right? Whenever we have in simple round brackets, this is a tuple. So it is giving my key as well as value in one single tuple, and it is converting the whole thing into a list. Okay, so you can take this as a list and see each item in a list is a tuple, right? So you can convert anything into a list. Okay, this is now a list. So each element inside this list is a tuple. okay, and inside the tuple we have key as my first value and value as my second value, right. So you can use items to get both of them at a single point, okay. So keys will give you keys, values will give you values, and items will give you both of them, right. Now these three are the methods to get keys, values and items, okay. Now we have two more methods to discuss, okay, get and update. So what basically get represents, right, in basic English, get means retrieve, fetch something, right, fetch something, okay. How we are fetching elements in here, we are getting using this kind of scenarios, okay. Same thing can be done using get, okay, we will get the same values, okay. Let us say now A have A, C, D, E, F, right, okay. Now if I want to get G, okay, G is not there in the dictionary. If I try to access this particular value, it will throw me error, okay, that is key error, because key is not present in the dictionary, okay. That's why it is giving me error, okay. To avoid these kind of errors, we use get, okay, A dot get G. Now if I am not giving anything, if I am just trying this will also give me nothing, okay. So without error it will just work, okay, but it is not giving me anything, okay, no output at all, right. So to avoid those confusions as well, we can give a default value, okay, like no value present, like this, okay. You can give a default value. So whenever you access this using like this, okay, when see, since G is not there, it will automatically give me this as an output, okay, no value present. So to avoid errors, we use get method, okay. So rather than simply retrieving, so we don't know, right, sometimes we accidentally give different key value, and if the key is not present in the dictionary, we will get some errors, okay. So to avoid that, what we will do, we will use this format, okay. So this format will also work, but it will not give you any output. So to get some proper default output, we will use this kind of scenario, okay, no values present, right. Now we have update method, okay. Let's say we have this, okay, A of dictionary, right, A is a dictionary. Now if you want to update some values, let's say I want to update C value to 10, okay. So what I will do, A of C equal to 10, okay. Now what it will do, it will update, okay. Same thing if I do for G, which is not there, okay. Now you can see it will create it, okay. So if I am assigning something, it will create things. If the key is there, it will update things, right. So this is how you update simple things or create some new values. But let's say if you want to update 4 or 5 values at a time, okay. Let's say if I want to update all these keys to some other different values, okay. What I will have to do, I will have to go on doing for each of these things, okay. A of C, A of D equal to 3, like this, right. Okay. Rather than doing this, what we will do, we will use update method, okay. So for update method also, you will have to pass a dictionary, and inside that you will have to use the same keys. Let's say I want to update C to 10 again, okay, we will use C 10. I want to update D to 54 again, D 54, E some 23, okay. Now if I want to create a new value also, okay, H is not there, I will use, let's say 90, okay. If I do this, you can see these things are updated, whatever the keys are already there, they get updated. If the key is not there, it will get created, okay. So the same thing how we are doing here, right, manually we are doing for each element, okay. Even for adding new elements, we are using for each element we are using like this, okay. Rather than doing this again and again, we will use simple update method, and we will use all these values in a dictionary, okay. So it will automatically update the previously existing dictionary, and it will add those values. Fine, got it. So these are all the methods that you have to use in dictionaries, okay. Pop to remove, items to get all the value, right. Let me put this here, okay. So basically pop to remove, get to retrieve, update to add or update. Okay, both update will work for both the values. Okay, you can update the new existing values, or you can create the new values. Okay, you can copy the whole thing using copy. You can clear all the elements, keys to get all the keys, values to get all the values, items will get both the keys and values in a tuple. Okay, list of tuples, right? So this is all about data structures. Okay, lists, sets, tuples and dictionaries. Okay, remember what are their usages, remember the methods that each particular data structure has. Okay, so list is simple collection of data types, have lot of methods, indexed, duplicate values will also be allowed. Okay, they can also be changed. Okay, we have lot of operations, remember all these things, try to practice all these things. Okay, operations, functions. Okay, this length function will be used for all of these particular data structures. Okay, okay, let me show you that. 1 2 3. Okay, so this is a set, you can use length for set as well. Okay, if you have a tuple, you can use the length function for that as well. Okay, now we have a dictionary, you can use the length function for that also. Okay, so length function will work for almost all the data structures. Okay, and some minimum maximum will also work for all the data structures except for dictionaries, because summing is not possible for dictionaries, right? So if you want to, like, sorry, my A was this, length of A will work like this. Okay, but you cannot sum A. Okay, and so to make the sum to work on this, you can use sum A dot values. Okay, you can sum all these values. Okay, you can use that, right? So this should be an iterable. Dictionary is also an iterable, but it has both key and values, right? It cannot know that which values has to take, right? So that's why we are definitely giving to take the values. Okay, now you can use this. Okay, and some minimum maximum can be used on all the data structures, but for dictionaries you will have to use like this, right? So all these functions are used for all the above functions can be used in all data structures. Okay, just remember how to use them for the dictionaries. Okay, it will be a bit different, but will work for all of them. Okay, now the sets, or the only difference is this will give you the unique values, right? So no indexing is possible because it is unindexed. Okay, tuples, they are indexed, they are ordered, you can use the indexing, but you cannot have all the methods, you don't have any methods at all. Okay, these are just immutable things, you cannot add, you cannot remove, you cannot do any possible values in this. Okay, and we have dictionaries, key value pairs. So basically we are giving our own custom indexing. Okay, our custom indexing we are giving in the dictionary, also created in curly braces. Okay, the difference between sets and here, this by default when you give curly braces it will take it as a dictionary. If you want to define it as a set, you will have to use the set function, right? And dictionaries also have a lot of methods, okay, which are very helpful. You can use these functions to manipulate things in the dictionary also, right? So yeah, these are all the things that you have to know. Okay, there are a lot of other things which can be used. Okay, so if you want to go deeper and deeper, you will have a lot of methods, but as a fresher, as a experience like 3-4 years of experience, these things are pretty much enough for you to move forward in the programming, right? No need to dig deeper into other things. Okay, these are all the things you will know. Okay, when we are discussing about classes, objects, how to overload things, how to override things, right? We have all of these things. Okay, we can use those things, but for now you might not understand all these methods, all the functionalities, how inheritance works, right? So basically don't worry about all these things. Okay, just remember whatever we have learnt in the class, practice those things again and again, get familiar with all these methods. Okay, these methods you should know how to use them by default. Okay, you should not go and search for these things, you should by default know all these things. Okay, because this will be very much useful in the simple programming also, right? So yeah, do practice all these things, and we'll start with new content tomorrow. Okay, we'll discuss about variables tomorrow. Okay, how to define variables, how to rechange variable names, all these things we'll define tomorrow. Okay, but yeah, please do practice. I have given two tasks. Okay, one is for lists and one is for dictionaries. Okay, you can, I mean, I just gave an example how you can work on these tasks, right? Basically create different dictionaries, different lists, okay, types of lists, and try to work on the tasks. Okay, so if you work on the simple this one, it will be very easy, but try to create complex things and try to work on the same values, right? Then you will get familiar with all these methods. Okay, you should by heart all these methods, you should know all these methods. Okay, yeah, that's it for today's class. Practice all these things. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you, Sandhya. You can drop off. Nobody joined today.